Hi, so this is just kind of a fun little video today. I love seeing what other people do with their spaces, so I thought I would share with you what I'm doing with mine. I've made some fun little changes recently, and I have really two areas of focus when I'm making changes with my place. One is that I'm making it Vivi friendly, which means that I keep things off of surfaces and off of the floor where she can reach them a lot of times because she's 3 and she's very exploratory and she's kind of her own little scientist right now. So she likes to tear things up and take them apart and strew them all over the place. So there ends up being a lot of destruction that happens of things that I really like. So one of the solutions that I have come up with is I am putting shelves everywhere. I've become shelf absorbed officially. And so I thought I'd show you some of those that I'm doing. And then the other focus that I have is I am bringing as many natural elements into my space as possible. I know I talk about this all the time, but the more natural elements we have in our living spaces, the healthier we are, basically, just if you want to generalize it. But we are more creative, we are healthier physically, we're healthier psychologically, we're happier, we're less depressed, and we're more productive. Everything that we want to increases when we bring natural elements into our lives, when we connect with the world that we evolved to connect with. It's actually very simple, but I think most of us have really lost connection with the fact that there's even a connection there. So adding those aspects back into my home is really important for me, and I'm sort of doing it piece by piece. I haven't been in this place very long, but anything I get, I'm really thinking of those two focus areas. So lots of shelves, lots of plants, lots of items made of natural materials. So my house is not perfect for sure. I have a 3-year-old. There are lots of areas of mess. So enjoy that. But I wanted to share with you just kind of some of the fun changes that I've been making. So I will just take you on a fun tour of my little tiny place. Okay, so the lighting is a little funky today. It's cloudy, but so one of the things that I love, and this is just the light I use for my videos, but is this shelf right here. This is actually a bookshelf for kids' books, and I do have one in Vivi's room for that purpose. But I put my little feather collection. I finally got to put that out. I have a plant rescue. I found this on the ground outside, and it was just one leaf, and now it's got 2. It's so beautiful. And I love this. I've had this up for a long time. Flowers and wildlife are essential to one's well-being. I just said that. So that's up there. I love it. On my desk, I have this beautiful little plant that's just thriving. This area you've seen before if you've watched my videos. This is the area. I have a slider right here. So this is the area that gets the most light in my apartment. The back part of my apartment back here hardly gets any light at all after the first part of the day. So I've really given up on trying to have plants back there, except for doing the sprouts, which worked great. What I found is that my other plants did not really thrive with the grow lights I had. So I've come up with some other ideas that I'll show you. But this is just, this is my bookshelf, and these are some natural baskets that I have Vivi's toys in. And it's just nice. It's so easy. I just throw her toys in there, and then I think it actually doesn't look too bad because they're in these beautiful baskets. But then I put up these shelves. These are new. These are actual wooden shelves. They're very soft wood, I'm sure, and I can't remember the name of it, but very sustainable, grows very quickly. And I have my plants up here and just some fun little things with them, but they do very well here and get lots of sun. So then we've got these curtains, which are Cost Plus World Market. Lots of natural material stuff there, which is a good tip, I think. This little area I just did, so it's kind of an area that I gravitate towards at night and do some reading here at night. And I just put up this little guy. Now these shelves I think were a bit of a misleading Amazon page because they showed them with books on them, like the books fitting perfectly, and they must have been miniature books because even my smallest books don't actually fit well on here. They're like hanging over, which is okay, but not ideal for me. I put here, because it's too dark here really for a plant, so I put these rose petals in here from a bouquet that I got from Kyle a little while ago, and I just think those are beautiful in there. And I put up these shelves, and I just love them. Literally, I put this up last night. I'm so excited. Super into shelves. I have this little one down here for some books that I can reach when I'm sitting here. These as well. These literally are the books that I'm in the middle of reading right now. Reading and rereading. I read a lot. So I've showed you before, I try to have these natural elements that are made of, wood. The rug is natural too. This is actually a synthetic animal fur. I would never have a real animal fur there, but I just loved how it looked. And it's very soft, and I've had that for a long time. It used to cover up the fireplace at our old house so Vivi wouldn't fall in it. And here's another one of those little shelves that I thought was going to be for books. So this one's a little bit still in transition. Here is something. I just put up these guys too that I think are so pretty. And this is what I see when I walk out of my bedroom or the bathroom or Vivi's room. And I get to see this like beautiful display that Vivi can't get to. I love her so much, but she is destructo. So let's see, what else? I cleaned up this area over here, which you probably didn't have before too, so it doesn't make much sense to you, but this is where I was doing Vivi's homeschool, like all her materials. And I have really, just as a side note, backed off on doing a formalized homeschool program with her. She's only 3, and it was getting to be kind of a really big burden for me, primarily the documentation of it. So I can do it. I set out a program. I have a lot of materials that will work at any time, and we're still doing the activities, but I'm just not documenting. It was just like, why am I putting myself kind of through all this extra stuff? But so I kind of cleaned up this area and just used little bins that I already had and made it just a little cleaner looking. And then I put up these 2 shelves, same shelves that I have my plants on, but like I said, it's too dark over here to have plants. So what I did instead, where I put my little marrow balls here, and if you have a place where it's pretty dark, they don't like light, this is probably too much light for them, but this area actually is, like I said, really, really dark after the first part of the day. And this is with a light on. So they have been pretty happy here. And these will just continue to grow very microscopically for like 100 years. And I love them. And so that's my plant solution over here. The other one is to put, also from a bouquet, just these dried eucalyptus leaves in a little jar. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And it brings green over here, and actually natural plants, but they're just not growing plants that need light, because it'd be very mean to put plants over here because they would not get enough light, which is their food, right? Here's my frog. I've had this frog since I was a very, very little girl, actually since before I was born, because it was in the fish pond at my parents' house where I grew up. So that's just a fun thing. And I love I love animals, so I love that the animals are represented there. And also that some of them are from my childhood, and so that's fun. Even our Christmas stuff we got is our animals. So we have this little deer here that we've actually had for a couple of years. It's just one of Vivi's toys now. In my hallway, I just have a little ripped out magazine page, and I've got my bookshelf here that I've had forever. But I love this image of this woman with the necklace made of leaves and flowers. This actually got from a thrift store a million years ago. You can always find the best stuff at thrift stores, right? And then in my bedroom, this is really fun. I had this plant stand up in the living room. It's a bit of a mess because these grow lights I just took down, and I have to move the whole thing to unplug them. But I had this in the living room on the ground, and Vivi was just tearing up the plants. So what I did was I put it on top of my dresser, and it's worked beautifully because this is the other area. You can see my window is here. This is the other area, and the eucalyptus tree in the hill. I live where I live. This area also gets light. So I have this kangaroo paw fern that is just flourishing and doing really wonderfully. I just turned it so it'll fill out on this side, and my fig. And this guy we found on the ground the other day. This is another rescue that we're bringing back. And I love this macrame with the natural wood and the, I don't know what this is, just like kind of twine-ish, I don't know, macrame. Anyway, I just love the natural elements of that. These two guys we're bringing back from the dead. I think it was too cold outside for them, so we'll see how that goes. And then over here, I just have a little area that's a little bit kind of like an altar. This is where Vivi and I will do our spirit animal oracle cards. We'll do those. And I also will use these at times. I love that. I have a picture of my son. Of course, there's a salt lamp, and it's a picture of one of my aunties. And then also what I used to have on here is this tray, which is now over on a shelving unit in the corner, of just all of the natural elements. So I have fire with chili peppers. I have the sage for fire also. I have rocks for earth. I actually have the bird here. So this is a bird here for air. And then the water element is actually missing at the moment because the reason these are not over here, which they used to be, is because of the Vivi factor. So then I've got just some prints of flowers here, Target, and then this wall hanging here and a lamp made of metal. So I'm just loving incorporating all these natural elements into my home, and I'm just kind of continuing to do it. I love soft things. I love animals. I love flowers. So have a walk through my house. So I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you enjoyed that. I just love seeing how people set up their spaces. Woo, don't get dizzy. And I will see you next time. Thanks for being here, sharing my life. Thank you.